whenever people say, and they often do, that cool is subjective, I say, well, actually, no, it isn't. I have been working on the concept of cool for 20 years. I grew up in Brooklyn in the early 1970s, and cool was a very serious matter. I mean, it's serious to everybody who grows up, but it was really serious in Brooklyn in the 70s. When I first went to graduate school to get a PhD in American Studies in Austin, Texas, I sort of thought we all agreed on what cool meant. At the exhibit, there are 5 rooms broken down by history. So there's the pre-birth of the cool, which is before 1940. There's the 40s and 50s, there's the 60s and 70s, and there's the 80s to the present. In talking about sort of how we made our choices, right? One of the things about cool is that cool is about cultural democracy. To be cool is to represent inchoate change. Like, we don't know what change you represent, but we want to go there. Like, Elvis is a perfect example. Like, that Elvis represents some sort of combination of sort of white and black culture in certain ways and a certain kind of bursting out of the complacency of the 50s, but they embody this inchoate change that is desired by a given generation, right? So we're looking for those kind of figures, right? So I would say the exhibit is more than half. Actually, I think it might even be 60% to 2/3 actors and musicians. Ultimately, you have to choose people to represent whole groups. So for example, Frank Sinatra's in it, and Dean Martin isn't. And Dean Martin totally belongs, but certain people stand for other groups because 100 slots is not really that many for the whole century. So for example, Muddy Waters is in it. Howlin' Wolf could easily be in it, and so could a number of other blues musicians. But Muddy Waters stands for sort of the entire electric blues scene as it becomes rock and roll. So those were choices that we had to make, and certain people got cut out because of that. As you would imagine, for cool, a lot of cool is in black and white, is noirish in one form or another. But a lot of the contemporary photos are in color, and so you get these like really dynamic, colorful photos. I like the photos so much, and not because I chose them, that when I finish a curator's tour, I often go back in to the rooms for another 20 minutes to spend a little more time with them on my own without having to talk about them. These are 100 photos. First of all, many of them are by like world-class fine art photographers. Everyone from Henri Cartier-Bresson, who did the Malcolm X photo, to people like Annie Leibovitz, and but there's also, I would say, about a quarter of the photos are things that Frank and I found in archives that have either never been seen or only rarely been seen. People really care about cool. And that's why I'm very frustrated by the superficial way in which we talk about what's cool, and like people will throw it in an article and they think that they're being kind of strangely creative or hip by even talking about it. And no, people are really invested in their cool figures. That's what I mean when I say that cool is about how you negotiate modernity. Like, who are the people who represent you? I look at this exhibit and my work as a recuperative work. Like, I'm trying to recuperate the importance of the concept, both in terms of historically that it has been, and I think it can still be useful if we can agree on what it means in a complex level as opposed to a superficial level.